Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know, I am Candy Rain, and welcome if it's your first time here. So basically today's video was supposed to be a full face how to step-by-step creating a full face video. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but basically it turned into a step-by-step how to full face video into a how to fix your mistakes video. Honestly, I just really started out super wrong in this video. I decided to just make this how to correct your makeup mistake video because I mean it just happens sometimes. And I think I did a pretty good job of redeeming myself and just getting my look to turn out really good without having to actually completely start over. So yeah, I know a few of you guys have actually asked for a step-by-step how to full face look, and I promise I'll get it to you maybe next video, but this one today is just going to be a correcting your makeup mistakes video without having to redo your makeup. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have not, please like and subscribe if you would like to see more, and if you're interested in how I created this look, then stay tuned for my step-by-step. Before applying a full face of makeup, you always want to start out with a good moisturizer. You will also need a good primer. It could be any primer you choose. This one kind of has a blurring effect to it. Alright, and then you'll use your foundation of choice. Today I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is a full coverage foundation. You'll need a concealer paired with a setting powder. The setting powder I will be using is the CoverGirl Clean Professional, which I forgot to show for you guys, but you'll see it later. And then you'll need a blush. For a full face, I always contour. Today I'm going to be using a pressed powder contour kit. You can also use a cream contour kit if that is what you prefer. Either one is fine. I'm going to be using a liquid eyeliner. I know some people don't use liquid, so use whatever you prefer. And highlighter is optional. I know everyone doesn't use it, but for a full face, I feel that it's a necessity. For my brows, I'm going to be using my pomade and ABH eyebrow brush. Your mascara of choice. Of course, you cannot do a full face without mascara. And today I'm going to be using the Violet Voss Best Life eyeshadow palette. We're going to create a really simple eyeshadow look using 3 shades and kind of creating like a gradient effect from light to dark, and I'll explain it more as we're doing the eyeshadow look. Right, and then I decided to just go with the MAC lipstick because it was pretty moisturizing, so I didn't need the gloss. You will also need a setting spray. Whichever finish you choose is fine. You can do dewy or a matte look. And these are a couple of the tools I'll be using today, paired with a couple of beauty blenders. Okay guys, so for any of you who are really just starting out with makeup and just playing around with different products, I want to let you know that you can get all kinds of samples from your local Sephora or Ulta just to try out before committing to anything. And also don't sleep on your local drugstore brands or Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Target. I mean, you can really find some really great products just about anywhere. And before applying any makeup, I always start out with moisturizing. And before we jump into applying our makeup, I want to let you guys know that I am not a makeup artist. I'm really just going to show you what techniques I use and what steps I go through. But honestly, there are many different ways people use different products and the way they apply their makeup, but this is my way. All right, number one, always prime. This is a step you cannot skip. All right, guys, and this is my first mistake. I knew I was doing eyeshadow today, so I don't know why I decided to go in with my foundation first. So FYI, when creating a full face look and you know you're going to be using eyeshadow, especially vibrant colors, it's best to start out doing your eyeshadow first, so that way you can try to avoid like any fallout getting onto your face that you've already prepared. And just to prepare your eyes for eyeshadow, you always want to start out with a base, and you want to use a light colored concealer or an actual eyeshadow primer before applying your eyeshadow. Applying a base on the lid will really help your eyeshadow color to just pop, and also just help your color stay in place a lot longer. Okay, and for our eyeshadow, you want to start out with a transition color as your base, and pretty much your transition color is going to be a color that's a shade or two darker than your actual skin tone. And this shade you're just going to kind of use to merge the rest of your colors together. I'm using the fluffy end of my ABH blending brush, and I'm using the shade Cocktails as my transition color. And as you can see, I'm just using little wiping motions and sometimes little circular motions just to apply that shade to the eye. And taking my Luxie 229 tapered blending brush, I'm going to take the color Sunsets, and I'm just going to dab it in the crease. And remember, when creating an eyeshadow look, you're trying to create a gradient effect. You want it to go from light to dark, so the color Sunsets is a little bit darker than that transition color. And we're going to use that same windshield wiper motion and circular motions just like we did the first time, and try to blend those two colors together. You don't want it to be a harsh line that shows you where the transition color and the crease color kind of meet. You want it to blend smoothly. And now you see where your color transitioned from light to dark. Alright, and now I'm just taking a little flat brush and that Glamouflage concealer and just creating a little halo look on the eyelid. Alright, and now where we just placed that concealer on the eyelids, we're going to go in with the shade Love and place it over the concealer. I started out using my finger, but then ended up using my Luxie 239 Precision shader brush to go over it. And now I'm going back in with the color Sunsets, and I'm going to place that shade on the outer corner of my lid and on the inner corner of my lid. And just again trying to create that halo effect on the eyelids. And guys, I know I said I made a mistake by placing my foundation on before the eyeshadow because I didn't want any fallout, but look how lucky I am. There was no fallout, thank goodness. And I'm just using that fluffy blender brush to just go back in and make sure there's no harsh lines in the eyeshadow and blend everything smoothly. Okay, and another mistake I made was going in with a concealer that was way too light. And honestly, my foundation was a little bit too light as well. This was a foundation that I bought in the wintertime, but I've kind of gotten a little bit darker since then. So I've gone in with a light foundation and also a too light concealer. And also, I just want to say that some people apply their concealer before their foundation, and I've done it like that before, but I just prefer to do my concealer after I've applied my foundation. And I know the point is to go in with a lighter concealer shade than your foundation and just place the concealer in all the areas you want highlighted on your face. But I feel that when you go in with a shade that's too light, it ends up looking a little like clownish. But no worries, all I did was go in with a darker shade concealer. I used the Kylie concealer in the shade Granola, which is kind of almost the same color as my complexion. So I just mixed that in with the lighter concealer and blended it out. And always, always, always use a damp sponge whenever blending out your concealer. It's just not going to be the same if that sponge is not damp. Alright, and now it's time to contour. Here is when I'll get the chance to kind of bring a little bit of color back into my face. And contouring just kind of helps give a little depth and dimension to your look instead of just like a flat look. So yeah, this is where I'm going to redeem myself and just put some color back into me. And now it's time to blend out the contour. And number one rule with contouring, you don't want to pull it down, or I guess blend down or blend out further. You kind of want to blend upwards and back towards the start of your contour. I accidentally got some glitter on my hand from the palette and got it on the side of my head. Alright, and now I'm bringing in that setting powder to set everywhere I place concealer. This step is important, and this is like a basic necessity when creating a full look. And this was a step that I absolutely hated. I hated putting powder on because I felt like it made me look so white and cakey and dry. And I just hated the look of it. but you really have to find a setting powder that just really works well with your skin and don't really give you like a flashback. And this one is one of a favorite of mine, so it works pretty well and helps solve my hating or disliking setting powder phase. So while my face is baking, I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the brows. For the past month or so, I've been growing out my eyebrows and trying not to tweeze them or shape them or anything, just because I'm trying to like get them really thick and then figure out how I want them shaped. But yeah, so I'm not gonna be doing too much talking on how to do the eyebrows. Really, I've just been winging it this whole process of growing them back out. So yeah. All right, going in with my liquid eyeliner. This was another mistake I made. This eyeliner is drying out. I can't find my big one, so I just grabbed this one thinking it would be okay. But yeah, I struggled with it. I like for my eyeliner to be I like it to just glide on, literally. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should just glide. All right, when going in with your eyeliner, you want to start at that inner corner of the eye and work your way out. And you want to stay as close to the lash line as possible. I don't know about anybody else, but I like a nice thin line. Every now and again, I'll do a chunky line, but I feel that when I have my eyeshadow on and I want it to pop, I really do a thin line. For anyone struggling with doing the actual wing, you can use something that has like a flat surface, like a postcard or just anything, or tape. Some people use tape to kind of help create that straight line, and that's a good way for you to just practice. And you know how the saying goes, when you get a perfect wing and liner on the very first try on one eye, the next eye is going to give you hell and it's just not going to be the same. So look what happened. Now I have to go back to that perfect liner, the one that I love, and just make it a little bit longer and thicker to match the other one. Alright, and it's been about 8 minutes since I put that setting powder on. So I'm done baking and I'm going to go ahead and just dust it off with a brush. And oh, before I forget, for anybody who doesn't know what the point in setting powder or baking is, pretty much is to help hold your foundation and makeup in place. And also for people who are really oily like me, it can help keep the oil down a little bit. So yeah, pretty much it helps keeps your foundation in place. And then I forgot that I actually did not contour my lower jawline, and that for me is a big step because I feel like it makes me look slimmer. It makes me look like I have a slimmer face, and yeah. Alright, and now I'm taking the color Sunsets and the color Love, and mixing them together and bringing it down to my lower lash line. Okay, and I get asked all the time, what tips do I have for putting on fake lashes or how to put on fake lashes? And my number one tip is to just get some lashes, go to your local drugstore or your local Walmart, somewhere where you can get some cheap lashes, like in a pack that comes with more than one pair, and just practice. Get you some lash glue and practice putting them on. And my second tip will be, don't be scared, girl, because some people are like terrified. They think they're gonna get something in their eye, or I don't know. I think it's just the thought of getting the lash close to the eye that freaks them out, but nothing's gonna happen. Just don't be scared, relax, and just have fun with it. And the eyelash glue is white, so when you first apply it, you will see little gaps of white glue in your lashes, but don't worry about that, because once it dries down, it dries clear and you won't see it. So don't panic if you see a little bit of white when you're putting your eyelash on. Alright, and it's time for blush. Surprisingly, I hear a lot of people say that they do not wear blush, but for me, it's just one of those things where, I don't know, I feel like my look is just not complete without my blush. And I go over the top of my contour, and I do blend it in a little. I do blend my blush in a bit with my contour, but I kind of try to go on the top of it. And then I do the same thing as I do with my contour. I kind of blend upwards and back towards the hairline. And recently I found out a lot of people don't really care for a highlighter. But for me, if I'm creating a full face look, I always include a highlighter. This is the MAC Lip Tensity lipstick, and it is in the shade Toast and Butter. And even though we have on falsies, we still want to go in with our mascara. We want to blend when you're doing the top lash, you want to make sure you're blending your real lashes in with your falsies. Now I'm taking the color Living, which is like a really pretty mint green color, and I'm just placing it on the inner corners of my eyes. And then I'm also going to take it right up underneath the brow bone. And this setting spray leaves you with a dewy finish. I kind of wish I went in with something more mattifying. But yep, that is the end of the look, and thank you for watching. Until next time.